You'll think of it later.
Yeah.
All right. You guys ready to start Mandalorian?
Go.
Let's try it.
Welcome to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room Podcast. We are here to podcast about anything and everything Star Wars with you. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's RABR.KAILEJOHANSEN.US. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KAILEJOHANSEN.US. And now, time to talk Star Wars. I am Kyle Jon Johansson, and this is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say hello.
There he is. And of course, Rick is over there somewhere on the left or right. I don't know where he's at. Below me. Below me somewhere. Rick is here today too. So we got a full house again. Today, this episode, I guess, we're talking about Star Wars, The Mandalorian, Season 3, Chapter 18, which was called The Mines of Mandalore. And we don't have any news in this episode because I don't want to waste a bunch of time. We all want to get out of here, I'm sure. So let's go right into the spoiler thing. So if you haven't watched the episode of Mandalorian, go back and watch it right now, or you're going to be spoiled. All right. So this episode, director was Rachel Morrison. Writer, of course, was Jon Favreau. And it was edited by Dylan Firshein. Our cast, of course, we had Djarin, Pedro Pascal, a couple of his body doubles, Brandon Wayne, and Lateef Crowder. Bo-Katan was played by Katee Sackhoff.
So is he injured or something? Is that why body doubles?
No, he just doesn't have to suit up every time. I think mostly what he does through the entire episode is use his voice. He doesn't actually suit up. These body doubles suit up most of the time. We had Pelli Motto again, Amy Sedaris. There was a Rodian customer at the beginning that was getting swindled. That was voiced by Dawn Dinger. And the Jawas were actually people, Leilani Shiu and Ariel Shiu were the two or three Jawas that we saw. They did. There's three of them, but I think actually two of them had voices that spoke. So those are the ones there. Exactly, and she spoke. Pelli spoke Jawas too. It was pretty funny watching her try to speak that.
You know, she's had one.
Yeah, she dated one, right?
She has an accent. It's hard with her dialect.
They couldn't quite understand her. Yeah, she's got the she's got a Tatooine accent, Mos Eisley spaceport accent.
She's from the South. Bless her heart.
Really well done.
Yep. So let's go with this episode. We're gonna go with the Taco Tuesday commercial.
We are proud to welcome our latest sponsor, Juan's Cantina, where every first week of the month on the standard galactic calendar we celebrate what the ancients call Cinco de Mayo. Come join us at Juan's for the food, mariachi music, and 34 flavors of margaritas. That's Juan's Cantina right next to the Hangar 94 of Mos Eisley Spaceport. On day 2 of the week, is Taco Tuesday. All tacos are half a credit each, and enjoyed with our house margaritas. Juan's Cantina also serves the galactically famous Dos Camarones Azules Cerveza, imported directly from Kessel. Thank you again for our latest sponsor, Juan's Cantina. Yeah.
Cerveza, por favor.
Por
We'll give me
favor.
some of that blue shrimp cerveza.
I want
That's what
the
that
I want the hot sauce
hot sauce. Oh.
with the Darth Vader sauce.
The hot sauce in this galaxy comes with a little bit of radiation too.
Oh no.
If it's served in lead, you're safe.
Yeah. All right. So this was the Mandalorian season 3, chapter 18, The Mines of Mandalore. First aired on March 8th. This one was 45 minutes long. And of course, this takes place 9 years after the Battle of Yavin, which basically puts us 2 or 3 years past the Return of the Jedi. And that means it's time to grab your favorite beverage, pull up a chair, and join us in the Rebel Alliance briefing room. I need a song to play after that.
Wait for me, I gotta wipe.
There we go. What? White?
I gotta wipe. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay. On the planet Tatooine, it is Bentua Eve. The residents are celebrating with fireworks, and in hangar 3-5, a Rodian argues with a mechanic Pelli. And I wanted to stop here before I get too far.
Yeah,
But
didn't
were
get
you
his
guys-
free taco? That was
That's right.
his
He didn't
problem.
get.
He was
didn't
arguing.
get his-
He didn't get his free taco.
Did you guys notice? I was afraid at the beginning of the episode when I saw the little speeders racing through this town. We were
Uh-huh.
going to get another episode with some racing going on.
Yeah.
Were you guys even afraid of that for a second?
The pod racers.
Hold on a second. What are we racing for?
Yeah, I thought that too. I was like, oh no, let's not do a racing episode. But yeah, they went directly into Pelli's.
Yeah.
And Pelli's running a little scam there. It looks like she talks about fixing up the speeder for him. Points out, oh no, there's so many missing parts here. What do we do?
Okay.
I can order them from the mid rim. She says estimates of time repair take up to 2 months. When the Rodian complains, she says, oh, just for you, I'll put a rush on it.
Mhm.
On the condition that the Rodian pay half up front.
Get down.
After the Rodian reluctantly hands her some money, she complains they're retreating back, that she will have to work on Buntu Eve, and that she should have charged him more for making her work on the holiday. That's where we
Supply
see,
chain issues.
yeah,
Supply
where
chain
she,
issues are galactic wide.
Mando on his speeder.
yeah. She gets her droids to push her pit droids to check make sure the Rodian is gone, and she calls the Jawas in and reveals that she's running a scam with the Jawas stealing the parts, and whoever comes in for repairs, the Jawas put their parts back, and they paint them to make them look like they're different.
Yeah.
Those
And then when
shady
they
mechanics.
come for she charges them for the stolen parts. Yeah, the Jawas demand credits for their work, and she gives them 1 coin or something, and they're like, and she gives them 2. It looks like she's trying to cheat them too. It looks like.
You're like I'm a softie.
Yeah. And then we hear, of course, like Scott said, we hear Djarin's N1 Starfighter. Sounds like a race car. Rum, 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 rum. And Motto tells the Jawas to leave with instructions to strip another speeder. She crows about how good the N1 Starfighter engines sound, despite Djarin saying that he has no complaints about its performance. He says something about it's still too fast for him. Faster than he can handle, what he says. She promises to tune it up anyway.
Yeah.
Then she asks, where's Grogu? Where's he at? And he pops over the top. And he uses the force to flip out of the cockpit into Pelli's arms.
I would give that a 9.9.
It's a pretty good flip, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He didn't stick the landing. It was a little wobbly.
He was a little wobbly.
9.2.
But he didn't fall though, so that's a good sign.
So he's still on the 9s.
She suggests to Djarin that Grogu said his first word, Pelli. Djarin ignores her claim, and declares that he is there for business. Down to business. Mato asks what the business is and suggests that is he going to take down Boba Fett? Or are the Hutts back? Have they returned? When Djarin spawns that he's only looking for a droid part, she declares it boring. Oh,
that's so funny. I'm watching it right now. When he was lifting off in the background, the panheads or whatever those things are, one had one of those drives that they needed for that machine.
Yep.
He was spinning around, didn't know which way to go. That's funny. That's so funny how that thing keeps popping up, that transmission.
And she calls the pit droids, the Jawas, come back in so they can make a deal with Djarin. Specifications are an IG series memory chip. And she jokingly calls him a grandpa. You're old, man. We haven't made those forever. When the Jawas return, she asks them if they have the memory circuit and that Djarin is looking for, but they have informed her that good luck with that. They don't have that and haven't had one of those for a long time.
Go lay down, Zoe.
At Djarin's complaint, he needs a droid. He needs the droid fixed immediately. Mato suggests buying the dilapidated R5 series astromech droid, which is the droid that had the overheated motivator on New Hope.
Yep.
It's the only one she has in the hangar bay that is worth anything. And Djarin says that she needs a droid that's able to spelunk. She's like, "What? What are you doing with these things?" Djarin explains that he's going to Mandalore and requires an astromech to go ahead of him and test the atmosphere to make sure it's safe for him to breathe. The R4 or R5 D4 astromech begins to shake and back away, but Mato tells it to get back into line and claims that it's just as good as when it was fighting in the rebellion. And that's when she slaps her hand on it and part flies off, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just cosmetic.
She offers to reinstall the astromech port in his starfighter, so the astromech can co-pilot, and sells him the droid for half the price with a free oil bath. I think the droid kind of likes that droid oil bath idea. Djarin accepts and the night falls. Grogu and the R5-D4 are in the starfighter, almost ready to take off, and Mato admonishes the droid, telling him to be braver, and tells Din that the R5 circuitry is fragile and that he should not rely on it. When Din protests, pointing out that she has claimed it was built for adventure, she sets the cockpit and says she cannot hear him. Her engines are too loud. Ah, what'd you say? And Djarin takes off, probably with the astromech droid leading, piloting. As Djarin and Grogu arrive in the vicinity of Mandalore, Djarin assures Grogu that while it may look scary with its turbulent storm clouds, it was once a beautiful and vibrant back in the day when the songs were made. Djarin knows about Mandalore. Things that he knows were written down, and he tells Grogu that it is the homeworld of their people, that every Mandalorian can trace their roots back to that planet and its Beskar mines. He confesses that he's never been to Mandalore, but instead grew up on the Mandalore moon Concordia, and he points to the moon off in the distance, way out there, up that way. Which they can see, and then they can also. He points to Calva, where they visited Bo-Katan earlier, last episode. He then points to the scope, which shows 3 astronomical bodies that he mentioned, explaining to Grogu that Mandalorians must be skilled at reading maps so they do not get lost. You must memorize your map. As the ship descends through the atmosphere of Mandalore, the clouds buffer R5-D4 and causes the ship's systems to flicker. When they have broken through the clouds, Djarin suggests that the fusion bombs from the Great Purge disrupted the magnetic field around the planet, preventing communications out of the atmosphere. The ship lands in a clearing surrounded by jagged pieces of green tritonite. Djarin orders R5 to scout ahead and test the atmosphere in the mines. R5 reluctantly treadles off. I think Djarin says he wasn't asking; he was giving him an order, basically, right? Grogu shows concern for the R5. Djarin says they can watch on the scope, which shows a red drop traveling away before it abruptly disappears. Uh-oh.
Oops.
As Djarin unsuccessfully tries to raise the R5 on comms, the ship's systems flicker again, and then Djarin says it's probably atmospheric interference. But Grogu is still distressed. He leaves the ship and go find R5 after pressurizing his helmet. Djarin enters a gloomy green cave, walking slowly, and he can see the ruins of the underground city. He is suddenly attacked by 3 Almond Knights with clubs who successfully make him drop his blaster. Unable to reach his blaster, Djarin pulls out the dark saber,
Still clutching.
through which he swings clumsily, as the blade remains heavy. He still needs some training, doesn't he?
Yes.
Nevertheless, he eventually defeats the Almights, at which point the R5 beeps and Djarin turns to find the overturned droid in a pile of rocks. Riding it upright, Djarin and the droid returns to the starfighter. And yes, he did struggle quite a bit with that blade. It was very heavy for him, it looked like, which we'll talk about here later further on. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. When Djarin receives the atmospheric readings from R5, he discovers that the air is breathable and declares that Bo-Katan Kryzzle was right and Mandalore is not cursed. It is not. He takes Grogu into the cave, pausing at the precept before them, and tells Grogu that it is once the civic center. And this is where Bo-Katan told him to go. He uses his jetpack, and Grogu uses his hover bram to descend past the mangled metal skeletons of buildings, pausing on a girder to tell Grogu that the mines are further down and that they were on their own from here. They continue descending down well past the ancient water pipes before landing on the bottom. They proceed through a large tunnel with more water pipes branching off it, and several reptilian creatures observe them, unnoticed by Djarin. Turning into a smaller tunnel, Djarin discovers that the Debris beneath their feet includes an old Mandalorian helmet. And he picks up that helmet, and boom, he's trapped in a trap. Some mechanical arachnoid with a organic eye takes him he's in a tightly encased metal cage of some sort. Basically, it looks like he's laying down flat. Yeah. And he puts the cage on a rack that almost looks like a rotisserie thing. As soon as I saw that, I thought of, that's exactly what I thought. I thought it was gonna, because it looked like what they did, on Indoor, the little Ewoks or whatever with the C-3PO and all them. They put them on the spigots and Han Solo and everything, and we're gonna cook them and eat them. I'm afraid he's our dinner tonight.
He was going to be steamed in his Beskar armor.
Exactly. The mechanical creature with 6 limbs and quills comes out of the larger arachnoid device, and Grogu watches this from the shadows. He leaves his pram is what they call it, for a better view. When the creature has disarmed Djarin and wanders off to get some cables, Grogu approaches and attempts to free him with the Force. His hands shaking. It's like, but instead, a piece of machinery breaks off, and makes a really loud noise. Of course, and the creature notices, of course, and turns his head and sees everything. And Djarin tells Grogu to go get Bo-Katan. His voice is very weak as the creature attempts to electrocute Grogu with a staff. It misses, which I think it actually hits him, but it propels him further forward. He jumps after it, or something like that. Grogu gets into his little thing and speeds towards the surface. He manages to dodge one of the reptilian creatures that lunges out at him, but is met at the mouth of the cave by an Almanite. And his sting, he stops and he almost falls out. He stops so hard. Whoa! He force pushes the Almanite away from the cave mouth and races towards the ship, closing the canopy behind him just in time before the reptilian creature smashes into it in an attempt to get Grogu. Grogu points to the view screen and tells the astromech, "This is where you need to go," as the ship begins to take off. Then we see Bo-Katan's droid walking up to her and says that an unexpected visitor has arrived. As she sees the N1 through the narrow windows of the throne room, she declares, let's get rid of him for once and for all. Instead of Djarin, however, there's only Grogu in the cockpit. Upon seeing this, Krizil asks what happened to him. Did he get hurt? Where's he at? Why are you here by yourself? Grogu can only babble in reply, and she orders the droid to download the data from the astromech to find out where they were. Next thing we know, they're in her ship, flying away towards Mandalore, carrying the R5-D4 and Grogu in the cockpit with her. I guess it's a bigger ship than this one that Djarin's got. As they come to land in the same clearing Djarin had before, she gazes upon the ruins of the city and the dome that once encased it. Suggested by the twisted steel rising from the ground, they land and Bo-Katan and Grogu enter the cave, coming to the precip where she can see the ruins of the city. Bo-Katan tells Grogu that her family once ruled this beautiful civilization, though now it's a tomb for everyone who perished. She then descends towards the floor with her rocket. As they pick their way through the cavern, Grizel tells Grogu that she knew some Jedi, and that Jedi and the Mandalorians once got along really well. She asks Grogu how skilled he is with the Force, reasoning that he must be good if he found his way to her by himself. Then they hear a noise, and she gestures for Grogu to get back and slowly moves forward, watching the crystalline patch of the ceiling. She fires at it with her blaster three or four times. Shoo, 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 shoo. And then the Almanites fall through the floor and rush her. There's a brief fight with Grizel emerges victorious. She asks, watching Grogu, did you think that your dad was the only Mandalorian? She identifies the beings she fought as Almanites, saying that once they lived on the surface in the wastelands beyond the dome cities. So maybe they built the domes to protect themselves from these creatures. I don't know. She wonders what else survived, given the Almanites were able to endure the purge. Meanwhile, the creature that has captured Djarin hooks him up to a small droid with a clear tubing through which Djarin's blood begins to drain. He takes pain groans, but before too much blood can be siphoned off of him, Bo-Katan shoots at the pump droid. Pew pew. The creature is stuns her multiple times with a staff, but Bo-Katan manages to grab the fallen darksaber from where the creature threw it, while disarming Djarin, and uses it to absorb the next bolt of electricity before readying herself to fight the creature with the saber and her personal combat shield, which is interesting. I have a bobblehead that she's with the personal shield with it. She wields the saber far more easily than Djarin had in his fight against the Almanites, and skewers the creature through the chest. She's been practicing more. As the creature falls, she turns to focus.
Battle, right?
Yeah, she had it before him. Remember, he
but I'm just
basically
saying,
won it from her, or won it from what's his name? I guess Moff Gideon.
Yeah.
Who got it from her? I think.
That's right.
As the creature falls, she turns to focus on Djarin, who is still in his rotisserie cage, and attempts to wake him up. While she says she's going to free him, he manages to croak out a warning that there's something behind her. Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun. The creature manages to crawl away from its metal body to return to the mechanical suit, a big spider suit. And Bo-Katan has to fight it with a darksaber and her shield. She chops off several of its limbs and finally destroys it, hacking it into pieces. Multiple pieces. Bo-Katan frees Djarin and sets up a fire over which she heats up some powdered soup. Yummy, the powdered soup, that's my favorite. Eventually he wakes up and groans and sits up from where she propped him against a rock. Bo-Katan points out that she saved his life, and he responds by asking how she found him, to which Bo-Katan tells him that Grogu found her and praises his navigational skills. He then points out that Bo-Katan was correct and Mandalore is not cursed. Bo-Katan, however, questions that, saying that there's nothing left of the great society that Mandalore once was. She ruled here once and says that there is nothing still here for her to cling to. She brings a cup of soup over to the Mando and asks, what is it? And she finds it ironic that he has never had pog soup, which she claims is something that all Mandalorians grew up drinking. Once he finishes the soup, Djarin gets up and ignores Bo-Katan's protests that he rest. When she says they will get back to her ship, he refuses. He must continue on his mission to the mines of Mandalore, where he can immerse himself in the living waters to redeem himself. He responds by asking what they are without the creed. What do they stand for? He credits the creed for ensuring the survival of the Mandalorian people in despair. He acknowledges that he will always be in her debt because she saved his life, but cannot go with her until he has immersed himself.
Okay.
After this speech, Bo-Katan offers to take him to the waters, as he would never find them on his own. As they walk through the ruins, Mando says he finds it difficult to imagine a city being filled with Mandalorians, as it looks like it has been centuries since its destruction. And the Bo-Katan responds that it's not that long. Not that long. How old do you think I am, boy? But the Empire sought to wipe away their memory as a punishment. Punishment, right, Scott?
Mhm.
Djarin tells Bo-Katan that it might be painful to see the city in ruins like this when she has witnessed its beauty. And Bo-Katan says that it truly pains her to see the Mandalorian infighting before the Purge, meaning the two factions fighting against each other. The Mandalorians were killing each other for reasons too complicated to articulate, as they would not resist the Empire's wrath when it came. So they had devastated each other enough that they found it hard to resist the Empire or to fight the Empire. We saw a lot of that, Scott, in the Clone Wars. We saw the different factions and stuff. I think we saw some of it in Rebels too, didn't we?
I think so. Yeah.
It's mostly because in Clone Wars we got to see that Obi-Wan Kenobi had an affair with Bo-Katan's mother, right?
I think so.
That was his only love, or something like that. Was her mother? Blah blah blah. Speech. They walk. Not very long. Okay. Djarin responds that as they reach the gate and enters a much older part of the city, that the mines are down this way, and Bo-Katan reveals that she has been to the living waters before as a child. She spoke of how, as members of the royal family, she had taken the Mandalorian tenets publicly, but that it was merely theater for their subjects, a spectacle of a princess reciting tenets while her father looked on with pride. Djarin suggests that her father was proud, that he would like to have known him. Bo-Katan responds that he was proud of her, but that he was a great man who died defending Mandalore. In response, Djarin stops, and when her face turns to him, he says, "This is the way."
I think he has something for her.
Maybe. They reach the living waters in a vast pool of water,
That's all.
accessible by a wide set of stone steps. Before he enters the water, Bo-Katan insists on reading him the commemorative plaque nearby the steps. It records the mines date back to Mandalore the Great, and there is a folklore tradition that it was once the lair of the Mythosaur. The Mythosaur skull was adopted as a symbol of their planet because it is said that Mandalore the Great tamed the Mythosaur. When she sees that Djarin has not reacted to any of her words, she asks if he is all right. You okay? You all right? What's going on there? When he does not respond, but instead begins removing his jetpack and his weapons, and proceeds to walk into the pool. And of course, he's still got his helmet on and some of his armor, which that stuff's got to be heavy, right?
So how's he going to prove he's at the water? Or
she's
No.
his witness. She's the witness.
Say, she's a witness. She's gonna verify it.
She needs to go back with him. She can't leave him now until he goes back to the armor.
He probably takes a sample.
Huh?
Well, she had that little light that she put up in the air too. Maybe that thing was recording stuff too. So
Oh yeah,
they got-
selfie. He's probably
they got
got
a video of it. That's right. That's right. That's right.
Hope it doesn't get photobombed.
Working. She has to go back with him to be the witness, and he has to get his armor redone or something.
I don't know about his armor, but okay, so he starts taking stuff off, and starts to recite the ritual words. I swear in my name, in the name of my ancestor, that I shall walk the way of the Mandalore, and the words of the creed shall forever forged in my heart.
She's
As he
smirking the whole
finishes,
time.
yeah, she's smirking the whole time, and as he finishes, he abruptly disappears underwater because the steps basically end, and
Bye.
and his suit's so heavy he just falls right to the bottom, right?
He missed
Having
the
walked-
sign. Watch your step.
Yeah, you missed the sign. He walks off a shallow shelf and is fallen down a deep trench below. Bo-Katan dives in after him, using her
that's more like a
jetpack
belly
to propel
flop.
her to the bottom, which I find weird that a jetpack can work underwater, but whatever.
Because he took his off, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but hers isn't. She uses it to propel herself down, which, like I said, that's kind of weird that it works underwater. She dives down to the bottom and finds Djarin his unmoving body, and carries him towards the surface, once again assisted by her jetpack. On the
She
way
turned
up-
his light off so she could see him. That's funny.
Hey, on the way back up, she uses her light and sees a giant reptilian creature with white horns, whose eyes open as Krasil helmet's lights illuminate it. A mythosaur. They speed away, making it to the surface, where they lie there on the steps. Djarin is wheezing and coughing as he is revived, and
Oh, horns. That's cool.
Bo-Katan takes great heaving breaths as she stares out into the waters, probably wondering if that mythosaur is going to come out of that water. Right, Rick?
The mythosaur's head looks kind of like the Mando helmet.
Yeah, that's
Well,
probably the point.
That was
Da,
that.
da,
Yeah.
da.
A lot of their
Symbolism.
a lot of their
Symbolism.
a lot of their religion and stuff is based off of the mythosaur. So, and that's the horns and everything. That's the symbol.
Yeah.
Where is it? I got it back here. It's on the side. Yep. Boba Fett's got it on the side of his jacket. You can't see it because it's yellow, but he's got it right there. Oh no! I lost the words of Master Yoda. All right, so that's when the credits come up. Is she's staring at the waters, thinking that maybe that creature's going to come out of the water and get her.
She's bait.
Yeah. You think they escape? I think they probably do.
Nah,
The
that's
mythosaur-
it. They die.
That'd
They
be
both
the end
die
of the
right
film.
there.
They're not in any future episodes.
Nope, it's just Grogu.
Nope.
Grogu
takes
becomes the
over.
Mandalorian.
He learns.
He starts
He
wearing a
learns-
helmet.
Yeah, learns the dark saber.
Lord Mando.
Yep. So, what do you think is a good question of the week for this one? Is does the mythosaur chase him back to the surface? What do we think?
Well,
Is,
those,
Does Bo-Katan go back in the water and
yeah.
take
I
another
was gonna
look?
Does Bo-Katan now believe the history of the mythosaur?
Yeah, she always thought it was a legend, right?
Yeah.
So now, I would say, is Bo-Katan re-energized about becoming the leader of the Mandalores?
Well,
I'm pretty sure she could kick Mando's ass, with Mando having to use the black saber, the dark saber.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, because he's in possession of the saber right now, so she has to win it in battle. Is how it works. So
challenge him.
I think they get married and they live happily ever after.
Oh, that's so
have
sweet.
little Mandos.
And Grogu becomes their baby.
Oh, that is so freaking! Oh my God! Hold on, Kleenex moment. Get the Kleenex out.
It's a romance. We've been duped all these years. It's a romance.
I'm puking right now as we speak.
All this stuff, and then she goes to him instead of me.
Yeah.
Damn her.
I don't think there's going to be any accidental discharges.
You forget she becomes a Cylon and
a Cylon. That's all.
Everything happens. Everything happens again. Everything happens over and over again.
Ooh. Ooh. Ooh.
That's right. That's right.
Battle.
Okay, so let's do our feedback plea again.
Feedback at KyleJohansson.us. That's feedback, KAILEJOH.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, this show would be much more fun if we had people responding and feeding back to us. We'd have more than just our stupid opinions about Cylons and everything.
Wow. Calling our opinions stupid. Did you hear
that? Send us some feedback and tell me different. So
I'm offended now. My rom-com theory.
I'm offended too. I'm going to go up at your door now.
Maybe somebody likes those ideas and they'll have to send us feedback. See.
Oh yeah, it's just your two next week. I have to work.
Okay.
I forgot.
We'll see. Maybe Rick's going to skip out too. Who knows? So we got the email address. You can go to our website on the left-hand side.
What is that email address, Kyle?
Feedback at KyleJohansson.us. Yes, that's it.
How does that feed to you?
Back. It feeds back.
Feed me, Seymour. Feed me.
So you click on the link on the website over there. No, it's over there on the left-hand side, and it pulls up a form. You fill that out, and that sends off to us as well. And actually, when you do it that way, either way, they both come to Scott and I at the same time. Question of the week. We have comment section there. Shh. What? Shh.
I can't see your mouth.
I don't care.
There. God.
Try to read your lips.
Shit.
All right, and we are on Twitter at super_duper_pod. And YouTube, of course, where there's comment section there as well. So please.
We have an OnlyFans page too.
A what?
Just you.
Oh, you have a MySpace page? Is that what you said?
OnlyFans.
No.
Oh, that's only you because you're the old one.
I didn't say old. I said only.
Oh. I know. It's for old people. It's for old people.
You're gonna have to Google that one.
No, I know what he's talking about. I've seen that.
We're done recording.
I've seen it. Anyway, so send us some feedback. Tell us that we're crazy about OnlyFriends, or Scott's got really bald head and you like it, whatever it is, send us some feedback.
And the newest flavor is actually cotton candy.
Anything else you guys got? Predictions? Ideas? Unfortunately, with the Mandalorian, we don't know what the episode titles are.
Why not?
Because they probably give away stuff if you do.
Oh,
I think
No.
they've been pretty good episodes starting out.
Yeah, Mandalorian is usually pretty good, right? There is a couple one-offs that they do, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, Boba Fett's there. What's going on?
Yeah.
So I think I've heard rumors that we're gonna get to see Boba Fett and Ahsoka this season, but there is talk, depending on how well the episodes do with Boba Fett, that they'll have a season 2 of Boba Fett. So, and of course, Ahsoka's going to be there because her show is supposed to come out next year. So,
what about Boba Fett's partner?
yeah, she's supposed to be there too.
Finnick.
Your girlfriend? Your girlfriend, Finnick?
Yeah.
Your girlfriend, Finnick? Let's see how much we're going to cut out of this. We'll see. You guys have to listen and see.
You got some editing to
Thank
do,
you
boy.
for listening to the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast. Please visit our website where you can play current and past episodes. That's https://RABR KyleJohansson.us. That's KaileJohansen.us. On the left-hand side is a navigation menu. You can use this to learn how to load the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room podcast on your Android or Apple phone and tablet. And we have direct links to our podcast on Apple and Google Podcasts. Please participate by connecting to our social media, answering questions of the week, or submitting feedback directly from the site. Again, all of these are available at the Rebel Alliance Briefing Room website at RABR.KaileJohansen.us. This podcast in no way is approved, sponsored, or owned by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. All opinions are solely owned by Kyle and or Scott and in no way express the views or opinions of their past or present employers. Views and opinions are not supported or restricted by Lucasfilms Ltd., Disney, Disney Plus, or any of its subsidiaries. Any rebroadcast, reproduction, or other use of this podcast and its affiliate sites without consent of Super Duper Podcast Network and its host is prohibited. I am Kyle Johansson. This is Andrew Scott Sutton. Say goodbye now.
And don't forget Rick. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Oh, boy.
Bye.